Hello everyone, welcome back. We're making a vacation home today for Gabby. I have a soft spot for her. She was in my town in New Leaf for a long time. She was one of like the original few villagers, I think, that I had. And then she was the first one to ask to move out, which like was a monumental occasion for me. And I let her go and it was kind of sad. Anyway, we're making her a vacation home. It's really cute. So again, we're continuing with my trip from Dallas that I've talked about in a multitude of videos so far. If you're interested in hearing what went on prior to now, go check those out and then come watch this. I already kind of discussed what we did Monday night. We went out for dinner with another couple that I am good friends with, and that was a really good time. The restaurant staff, like I said, were very accommodating to us. So it was like you go up and you order, and then you're supposed to bring your food to your table. It was on trays because like they weighed all the meat that you were getting and then they cut it and then they put it all in a tray together. And then the sides that we had were on another tray. And so we ended up just like splitting everything between the four of us. But because it was kind of difficult for us to maneuver with the trays, because they were pretty big, like cafeteria style trays, the restaurant staff were very helpful and brought the food over for us because my boyfriend and I are low vision and we were each guiding one of our friends because the couple that we were with was completely blind, and it's kind of hard to like maneuver with giant trays of food with a white cane in one hand and also like another person holding on to you. But like I said last time, we managed thanks to the help from the restaurant staff, and the food was honestly something that I didn't know I was gonna like. I'm not a barbecue person necessarily, like I said in my previous video about this. However, I'm not really a brisket person. Like, I'll eat pulled chicken, I'll eat pulled pork. We had some smoked turkey that was pretty good. We ended up getting brisket, smoked turkey, and these jalapeno cheddar sausages that were really good. I thought they were kind of spicy. They had a nice kick to it, and then a bunch of sides. Like I said, we ended up bringing a lot of the brisket home because we got way too much and we like overestimated what we were going to eat, but that was fine because my boyfriend ended up eating it for the next 2 days, which was great. I didn't want it. So Tuesday, again, I got up. I had to go to the general session in the morning. My boyfriend worked another half day. I went in, and when I was in there, they were starting the roll call for the affiliate vote, like to have us cast our affiliate votes, which was fine. We were a little bit ahead of schedule, which I was not thrilled about because every general session has a schedule, like all of the meetings, like they're roughly timed, like all of the segments in the meeting. The session was supposed to go from like 8:30 in the morning to around noon. I can't remember if there was a sponsor thing that morning or what was going on, but I cast my vote and then I left to go back into the exhibit hall because it was only open Tuesday and Wednesday, and then they were closing it because the convention technically ended on Friday with like tours that we didn't go on. So I found this really cool thing. I didn't end up getting it because my phone is too old, but it is called Case for Vision, and it is a phone case essentially. They have an actual phone case, and then they have like a MagSafe one that works with MagSafe devices that you can put your phone with a case on it into. And I think that they might have a MagSafe adapter. I don't think so though. I believe it's mainly for iPhones. I'm not 100% sure if like Android phones work with this, but they have an app that's free, and then they have like the actual thing that you put your phone into that has legs that extend out. The app is a magnification app, and you can do like live panning around what you're looking at instead of having to move the phone, which is what you have to do currently if you use Apple's built-in magnifier app, unless you take like a still image within the magnifier app and then you can move around. It's a little cumbersome. I really think that the case is neat. It also has another lens inside of the case, so you can do distance viewing as well as looking at what you are trying to read, like if it's a menu or mail or whatever on a table. You can do like a split view, or you can do just the distance viewing or just reading what is flat on the table in front of you. They also have one for a tablet. Unfortunately, my iPad doesn't fit it. You need to have a newer iPad, which like my iPad is fairly new-ish. Like it's the iPad Air 5th generation, but the one that you need for the iPad case, I think you have to have at least an M3 or an M2 processor. I can't remember, but one of the ones that I don't have, and the iPad itself is slightly larger. I think it's like about 10 inches to be able to fit in the case. Mine is like about 9.7 or whatever inches, like however big the iPad Air 5th generation is, which is not the end of the world. Honestly, I think I would rather use this with my phone. So I have an iPhone 11. Unfortunately, I was not able to get this thing, but I'm going to in the future because I think I mentioned this previously. I need to get a new phone. My phone battery is awful. It's time to upgrade it when the new phone's come out, I'm going to get one. And then I'll be able to get this little thingy that I can carry around and turn my phone into a better video magnifier than it already is. Because like video magnification devices, they range in size and price. And by ranging in price, I mean some of them start at $600 to $800 and then go up from there. And it's like, I don't necessarily want to be carrying around a separate thing when I can just use my phone that I already have in my pocket. And that's what a lot of people think. So I'm going to leave the link to this down below if you guys are interested in learning more about it. They do have a website where you can buy it online. I already talked about the tennis demo, which was in the video where we built a campsite on Kringle, my winter island. However, I'm going to now talk about bingo. The Families affiliate has bingo every year at convention. It's a big deal. It's like packed. The room was so full and they sold more tickets at the door. They pre-sold 130 tickets at least during like the pre-registration. So there are braille and large print cards. It goes for about 3 hours and they have like various games of bingo, like the traditional one, and then like do a postage stamp like in the top right corner of your card, or do a braille cell, or 4 corners, or whatever. So during bingo, one of the hotel employees came into the room and said that the hotel was flooding. We had all gotten like flash flood notifications on our phones. However, what they didn't say at the time was that the flooding was due to a pipe bursting, like a sewer pipe bursting or something. So on our floor that my boyfriend and I were on, we were on the 14th floor. They said people on the 12th and 14th floors were affected because there's no 13th because that's like unlucky. So we thought that our room was affected. It ended up being that there were rooms on the other side of the elevator bank in that hallway that were affected, that had water like coming into their rooms, I guess, and they had to move. There were about 10 rooms that had to be moved, and about 4 of them were our people because they came back in sometime later with the names of people who needed to be moved, and one of the people that needed to be moved was in bingo. I think that they figured that like because bingo was so popular that pretty much all of our attendees were going to be there. That was almost kind of the case, but not really. So it was very relieving that we didn't have to move. It sucked that other people did, and I heard from someone that a friend of theirs had to be moved, but they were leaving the next morning, like they were checking out. So that really sucked for her because she had to repack all of her stuff if she hadn't already, and then move only to leave the next morning to go home. But that is what happened basically on Tuesday. I know it's not a lot of like fun, juicy details. Wednesday, in my opinion, was a bit more fun. We did a few more things. So we're going to talk about that in the next video, which is me doing another house in my Sims 2 custom neighborhood. As usual, we did get 40,000 Poki for our work. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave any comments, feedback, and suggestions down below, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.